Since the men's rising cost of warm clothing as Harmattan sets in. Mixed reactions as 2 Nigerian refineries resume operations amid rising fuel prices. Kano State implements comprehensive measures to address out-of-school children crisis. On the foreign scene, tight security as Haiti's main airport reopens after a month-long shutdown. Hello and welcome to Trust News Updates. I am Chiamaka Mwafo. Thank you for joining us. As the Harmattan season sweeps across Jos and its surrounding areas, residents are facing the biting cold and are being forced to purchase warm clothing despite ongoing economic hardships. With temperatures dropping, families are finding it necessary to buy the protective garments, even though the financial strain makes it a challenge. Adam Musa has more in the story.
Between November and January each year, Jos residents are accustomed to the cold weather, which drives many to seek warmth through new clothing. At the Terminus Market, a key hub for warm clothes, customers share with Trust TV that while the economic difficulties weigh heavy, they still find a way to buy what they need to stay warm.
Well, the Harmattan period is a truth that we need cardigan, but the price is high because of the transportation and everything. But well, we can afford the cardigan, but we need them in this cold season because the cold is too much. Without cardigan, you cannot stay in Jos.
They are not affordable. I wouldn't lie to you. Things are so expensive in market. For ordinary socks now, they are saying you can't buy less than 600 naira pack just for a small baby. For you buying that and cardigan, it's a necessity for you to get. As the town is now, there is cold everywhere. You need it, but we don't have choice. But they should please help us and try and reduce the cost of product. It's too high.
They are quite expensive, and I guess that's because of the weather. Before now, these things are way cheaper than they are now. But because of the weather and people have to survive, it's quite cold in Jos, and so it's quite expensive, but then people have to use them.
While many customers express concern over rising prices, sellers are also feeling the pinch of the inflationary pressures affecting their business. Often, when customers come to buy warm clothes, they find the prices too high to purchase what they need. Sometimes they leave without buying anything. We are left wondering if they just can't afford anymore, as we still bring the goods to sell.
Yes,
people who can afford it do buy, especially with the current weather. But the major issue right now is the price hike. It is really affecting our profits. In the past, we would make about 40,000 naira after selling a batch. But today, it is hard to even make 5,000 naira or 10,000 naira. In some cases, we lose our capital. Historically, the Harmattan period has been a time of high sales for warm clothing vendors. But this year, the combination of price hikes and financial struggle is dampening business in Jos. From Jos, Adam Musa reporting for Trust TV.
The Association of Senior Staff of Banks, Insurance and Financial Institutions, ASBIFI, has attributed the ongoing cash scarcity to the Central Bank of Nigeria's inability to meet the cash demands of commercial banks. ASBIFI President Olusoju Oluwole noted that the situation has persisted since the Naira redesign and is worsening as the festive season approaches. He explained that banks rely on the CBN and retailers for cash, but the Apex Bank has failed to meet demands, while retailers profit by selling cash instead of depositing it. Oluwole highlighted that banks collectively need at least 20 million naira daily to function, with ATMs requiring 8 million naira each and over-the-counter transactions 4 million naira. He called on the CBN to provide clear statistics on cash circulation to improve distribution. The Senate on Thursday initiated a probe into the recent demolitions in the Federal Capital Territory and established an investigative committee to address the issue. The committee is set to invite FCT Minister Nyesom Wike to explain the rationale behind the demolitions, which have rendered numerous residents homeless. Senator Ireti Kinkigbe of the FCT Senatorial District, who moved the motion, raised concerns about the illegal demolition of structures in Abuja and urged an immediate halt to further actions. The Senate resolved that the investigative committee would report its findings within a specified time frame. In a related development, the upper chamber also summoned the managing director of Julius Berger Nigeria PLC over the company's refusal to appear before the Senate regarding details of the Odukpani-Itu Highway project. The Odukpani-Itu Highway, a vital transportation link connecting Odukpani in Cross River State to Itu in Akwa Ibom State, has significant economic importance for the South-South region. Senator Sitongo, who sponsored the motion, revealed that Julius Berger failed to provide information about its involvement in the project despite receiving public funds exceeding 18 billion naira. The Senate condemned this non-compliance, describing it as contempt of the National Assembly and a violation of constitutional authority. Invoking its constitutional powers, the Senate issued a warrant of arrest to compel the managing director of Julius Berger to attend the rescheduled investigative hearing. The Special Offences Court in Ikeja, Lagos has vacated the bench warrant against former AMCON MD Ahmed Kuru for missing his arraignment in a 76 billion naira fraud case. Justice Mojisola Dada granted the motion after Kuru's counsel, Olashukbo Shashore SAN, apologized and assured the court that Kuru would appear before arraignment on January 20, 2025. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, had no objections, with counsel Wahab Shitu confirming the agreement. The bench warrant was issued on December 3rd after Kuru allegedly jumped administrative bail. He faces charges alongside others, including Arix Air MD Captain Roy Ilebudu, for fraud involving 76 billion naira and $3.15 million. Nigerians are facing an unrelenting surge in fuel prices, now exceeding 1,000 naira per litre, despite the operations of the Dangote refinery in Lagos and the rehabilitated Port Harcourt refinery. Many are questioning why the government has failed to ease the burden of rising cost, contrary to expectations of relief after ending fuel import dependency. Victoria Chokolo spoke to Lagos residents about the situation. Here's her report, is presented from our studio. Despite the operationalization of the Dangote and Port Harcourt refineries, Nigerians are frustrated by skyrocketing fuel prices. Hopes of cheaper fuel have been dashed as prices continue to climb. Following subsidy removal by President Bola Tinubu in May of 2023, fuel prices rose from 195 naira to between 448 naira and 557 naira per litre, a 185.64% increase. Further hikes in June and September 2023 pushed prices even higher, reaching 1,050 naira per litre after the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL) withdrew its intermediary role between marketers and the Dangote refinery. While the Dangote refinery began operations in September 2024 and the Port Harcourt refinery resumed production after years of rehabilitation, the anticipated price drop has not occurred. Bus drivers like Mutiu Lawal and Ramilowo Akiola expressed the struggles, citing the pain of purchasing fuel at over 1,000 naira per litre.
It is only NNPC that was selling 1,050 naira. Some filling stations were selling 1,080 naira. So the price is not equal. So we don't know what happened to our government too, because when they said that 2 to 3 refineries is now working, you don't know why the fuel is now going up and down.
NNPC presently now is selling 1,050 naira. Total is selling 1,080 naira. Mobil is selling 1,050 naira. The other people, that's a private, some are selling 1,150.
Oil and gas marketers along with Lagos residents also shared their thoughts on the refineries and the ongoing crisis.
Dangote is private. NNPC is always a private company now. You understand? A private venture company. What I will advise, if the marketers have alternative to bring in a lower price for now, they can, so that there will be competition. I believe if NNPC can compete with Dangote, Dangote will force to come down.
If the refinery is working, I think things supposed to change. But I don't think it's working. All those things are just rumors.
I don't think those refineries are actually working. To me, I don't think it's working, because if actually those refineries are working, I believe the price of fuel would have been down by now. More so, the cabals in the oil industry will not allow the fuel to come down.
Without urgent action, the rising fuel cost could deepen economic hardship, exacerbate poverty, and erode public trust. For a country rich in crude oil, the irony of this crisis is stark. Citizens are now calling for transparency, efficiency, and government intervention to lower fuel prices and alleviate their plight. INEC Chairman Professor Mahmood Yakubu met with resident electoral commissioners at the Commission's headquarters in Abuja to discuss reforms based on lessons from the 2023 general elections. He revealed that 142 recommendations were identified through internal and external engagements, focusing on areas such as voter management, education, electoral technology, security, and legal frameworks to enhance future elections. Trust TV's Antonia Ebohon reports. We'll bring you that report in our subsequent bulletins. Now, over in Adamawa State, the government has approved the 2025 budget proposal and appropriation bill totaling over 486 billion naira. The approval came during the State Executive Council meeting at the Government House in Yola, presided over by Deputy Governor Professor Kaleptua Farota. Addressing the press after the meeting, Commissioner for Information and Strategy James Elia revealed that the 2025 budget, titled The Budget of Service, was unanimously approved. Additionally, the council sanctioned a contract to procure and convert a residential property into a high court in Madagali local government area, reflecting the government's commitment to enhancing access to court and litigation services for its citizens.
At the 21st Adamawa State Executive Council meeting, the Executive Council has approved Adamawa State 2025 budget proposal and appropriation. An appropriation bill amounting to 486 billion 218 million 47,600 naira. And the budget is tagged the budget of service. And again, the council has graciously approved the award of contract to procure a residential property at Madagali local government area to be converted to building of high court in Madagali local government area at the contract sum of 186,202,500 naira.
Over in Jigawa State, the government has launched a multi-billion naira partnership with New Globe, an educational consultancy, to elevate the standard of basic education in the state. The initiative, called Jigawa Unite, Unified Improvement of Teaching and Education, aims to overhaul the education sector and boost academic performance across schools in the state. Here's more in this report.
At the MOU signing ceremony, Governor Umar Namadi highlighted the critical importance of foundational education, emphasizing that the 5-year project would be a cornerstone for reform in the state's basic education sector. Quality education begins with a strong foundation. This initiative is a step toward building that foundation, he remarked. Governor Namadi also revealed alarming statistics showing that 7 out of 8 primary school pupils are unable to read or write, which led to the declaration of a state of emergency in basic education.
So our engagement today with the new globe to revamp the basic education is a deliberate attempt to ensure that we have revamped the entire education system in Jigawa State. We have started this engagement for quite some time. And we have taken time to review who is New Globe, to assess them, and to see what they are doing. They have been working in some part of this country. Our people have visited where they are working, and they have seen the result and the outcomes of their work.
New Globe's CEO, J. Kimel Imam, commended the governor's visionary leadership and his commitment to the future of Jigawa's youth. He reaffirmed New Globe's dedication to ensuring the project's success, emphasizing its potential to drive development and create a brighter future for the younger generation.
With the launch of Jigawa Unite, we're going to transform education for every child here in the state, for them to reach their full potential. Education is the foundation of lasting prosperity. It's the surest path to economic growth and societal progress. As governor, we know you understand this. You've shown your leadership in this, that uplifting the cognitive skills of a state is the true path to unlocking its potential. Jigawa Unite is more than just an initiative. It is a movement to empower children, support teachers, and enable communities to thrive.
This initiative is said to be a pivotal moment in the state's effort to transform its educational system, creating a pathway for sustainable improvements in the years ahead.
Still in the northwest, over in Kano State, Nigeria's most populous state with over 20 million residents, faces a persistent challenge with out-of-school children, despite various efforts. The issue remains largely unsolved, driven by a combination of financial and cultural barriers. In this report, Trust TV's Abdulaziz Ibrahim explores the multifaceted approach being adopted to address the problem in Gwarzo local government area of the state.
In Kano's bustling metropolis, many school-aged children are seen on the streets, engaged in hawking or business activities to support their families. While basic education is free, economic hardships are often cited as the primary reason parents send their children to work instead of school. Outside the metropolis in Gwarzo, adolescent girls aged 15 to 25 bear the brunt of a lack of education. Although Gwarzo has a relatively small population, many girls and women have either never been to school or dropped out due to financial constraints and cultural norms. I stopped attending school 4 years ago, but we are grateful that efforts are now being made to give us another chance at education. We once chose to stop our education, but now, with this opportunity, we are ready to return to school with full commitment. Experts point out that Kano's educational struggles are emblematic of the wider crisis affecting northern Nigeria.
Whenever we talk about education, especially girls' education, people usually consider out-of-school girls as the menace or the problem or the barrier in accessing education in the northern part of Nigeria.
Those who have stopped secondary education or have not even transited in the first place, at whatever level and for whatever reason, could be early marriage, could just be economic or any reason.
Addressing this issue requires a comprehensive approach combining cultural transformation, educational reform, and economic support for women to foster commitment to children's education.
We are here to enroll them back to school, but in a non-formal way. That means they will not be in regular schools because of their age. They will be in school. They will still, maybe during their hawking, they will still be in school. In the morning, maybe in the afternoon or in the evening, based on their choice.
Our mission is just for them to continue learning.
As Kano's leadership and citizens work towards resolving this crisis, one central question remains. Will these efforts pave the way for a brighter future for its children? From Kano, Abdulaziz Ibrahim reporting for Trust TV.
The 93rd Ordinary Session of the Economic Community of West African States Council of Ministers took place on Thursday at the ECOWAS Commission headquarters in Abuja. Chaired by Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf, the meeting focused on key governance, economic policies, and regional integration issues. In his opening remarks, ECOWAS President Omar Toure praised President Bola Tinubu and the Nigerian people for their ongoing support of the regional bloc. He emphasized the timeliness of the gathering, given the persistent challenges facing the region. Toure also outlined 30 critical agendas to be addressed, covering topics such as trade, security, agriculture, and regional stability. He expressed concern over the decline in community remittances, with only 40% of expected funds being received from member states in the past 6 years. Additionally, Toure congratulated Liberia, Senegal, Togo, and Ghana for successfully holding peaceful elections this year, underscoring the importance of democratic stability in the region. He called on member states to reaffirm their commitment to the core values of ECOWAS. Over in the Caribbean, Haiti's main international airport, Toussaint-Louverture International, reopened on Wednesday, a month after gang violence in Port-au-Prince forced its closure. The reopening saw heavy security at road checkpoints leading to the airport, with Haitian soldiers and Kenyan police, part of a United Nations-backed mission, screening people entering the area. The Guy Malari terminal serving domestic flights also resumed operations. The airport was shut down in November after commercial aircraft came under gunfire from gangs. Haiti's government stated that the airport's reopening is part of a broader strategy to restore security and revive economic activity. However, it remains unclear when commercial flights will resume. This announcement came as the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration extended its ban on U.S. airlines flying to Haiti. Gang violence has plagued the country since the start of the year, contributing to the fall of the previous prime minister and escalating chaos and loss of life on the streets. Clashes erupted on Wednesday morning in a southern town in Somalia between the country's federal government forces and regional troops of the state of Jubaland amid escalating tensions over a disputed regional election there. The hours-long fighting in the town of Raskambuni calmed by midday, officials from both sides said. The latest violence in the restive Horn of Africa, long plagued by deadly attacks by Islamic extremists, both sides accused each other of instigating the clashes. Details of the fighting and the number of casualties remained unclear because of a telecommunications blackout imposed in the area. The clashes underscore a deepening rift between the federal government and Jubaland's administration, raising fears of further instability in the strategically significant region near the Kenyan border. Somalia's federal forces are in the process of taking over the fight against Al-Qaeda-linked militant group Al-Shabaab from an African Union peacekeeping mission that has been in place since 2007 and whose term ends at the end of the month. The federal government accused Jubaland regional forces, led by Ahmed Madoubi, of attacking positions on Wednesday, previously held by federal troops. The positions are critical, the government said, in the fight against Al-Shabaab. And that concludes news updates at this time. For more of our news, programs, and documentaries to what follows on our social media platforms and on our YouTube live stream. I am Chiamaka Mwafo. Thank you for joining us at this time. Good afternoon.